Hey traders, and welcome to the Strategy Lab video. My name is Alexander Nikitin. I am a professional trader and a creator of NPS pattern recognition software. In today's video I will show you the updated results for euro-dollar 15-minute time frames unified Gartley testing. When I say unified Gartley, I mean that it is an M-type formation. Let me draw it. So M-type or W-type formation, which actually unites all these possible patterns like bats, harmonic Gartleys, advanced bats and advanced Gartley formations, and also Pesavento patterns. So all those differences between these patterns make absolutely no sense in unified Gartley. It unites them all. So just very broad notion, very general pattern for all of them. Of course, a bat harmonic pattern is a variation of a Gartley, and a Gartley harmonic pattern is a variation of a unified Gartley as well, and a Pesavento pattern is a variation. They are all variations of this pattern. Okay, so this is a unified Gartley. Second thing that I noticed is that the official completion of 786 for Gartley patterns, yes, that says that Gartley should complete it. In many cases is not touched. The reversal takes place a bit earlier, and this leads to the situations when you miss the entry, you miss the pattern that could be a nice winner. Or if you enter this pattern at the second touch, at the second test, you have a loser. Yes, not only you miss the winner, but you have a loser if you enter that at the second test. What can you do? You can skip this when they have early reversals, as I did previously in my videos, maybe 2 or 3 years ago. I recorded about this offset rules, that if it reverses without completing the pattern very close at the completion and reversal, it means that the train has gone and the opportunity has missed. You should not re-enter that. This was one of my rules for advanced pattern trading. In today's video and in yesterday's video, I decided to do it a bit different way. I decided to execute the trade within this offset buffer range. So how this offset buffer is calculated? You calculate the distance between C and D. The D is the potential, of course, you know it because it is 786 of the X to A leg, and the C is the price taken from the chart. It is a pivot point or whatever. So you know the C to D distance, and you calculate 10%, and this will be your buffer. If price hits this 10%, then you should be in. You can place your order at the top level of your buffer, in the middle, in the bottom, or whatever. If you place it at the top, so you will be always executed if price touches your buffer. Okay, how can you do it automatically maybe, or how can you do it a bit faster? Stretch the Fibonacci and enable 0.1 level of this Fibonacci, so it will be 10%. So let me type a 10%. So this will be your level, 10%. Another way to do that is simply shift the entry, and lucky we have an MPS. MPS is extremely a powerful tool for analyzing these patterns, for trading these patterns, for I don't know, researching these patterns. You can do everything that you want with these patterns. Not only you have predefined patterns as Gartleys, bats, ciphers, butterflies, Pesaventos, and so on. There are also harmonic patterns, predefined harmonic patterns that you can switch on and off, and that's not there is also 2 custom patterns that you can tune according to your needs. And as I'm using a unified Gartley which unites all the patterns possible, all the M-type and W formations possible that complete before X, I can also modify this entry as well. So it looks like it doesn't touch the 786 and starts earlier. So what is the most reasonable number for me, which is below 786, but pretty close to it? And in my opinion, this level is 75%. So let's do this battle, 75% versus 786. So what we know about 75%? 75% is 3/4. Yes, very, very wonderful number, 3/4. It is a round number. It is very human brain operates in thirds, quarters, halves, and so on. So it is easy to find 50%, 33%. It is 1/3, 66%, 2/3. Yes, 75%. 3/4, 25%, 1/4, and so on. So these numbers are very easy for our mind to operate, and these numbers, 786%, 618%, are very difficult to operate in our mind. So if we look at this level, I would say that it is closer to 1/3, maybe 1/2 of that, but I can't say that it is 786 or whatever level it is. Something in the middle between 1/3 and 1/2. And if we look at the ratio, we will see that I was almost right. It is 1/2. And if we look here at the B point, yes, so I would say that it is a bit more than half. So maybe it is 2/3, 66%. Yes, and if we look, it is 65% here. So 618 is very, very difficult to calculate in your mind. So that's why the preferable numbers are this: 50, 1/3, 2/3, 3/4, 1/4, 2/4, and so on. These numbers are easier to operate. That's why maybe this is the reason why price reverses a bit earlier. So people are looking at 3/4 rather than at 786. And let's do this. It is just a just my suggestion. It is a hypothesis. Of course, it needs to be tested. We need to set the experiments to test that stuff. And if the hypothesis is confirmed, then it can be expressed as a theory. But before it is not a theory, it is a hypothesis only. That 75 is working better than 786 level. Okay, let's go to MPS settings and just modify the pattern, custom pattern here, the XA leg, and 75%, 3/4. Round numbers are better. And you see it completes at 75. So you don't pay attention at this buffer. You don't need it. Just look at this level of 75%. Okay. Then, of course, the stops and targets are calculated based on your 75%. So if you calculate it from here to here, you have 26 something, and from here to here you have 26 something. It should be 26.2. It should be 26.2, ideally. 68 to 23, 23. Yes, 26.2. So in both ways, 26.2 to the downside, 26.2 to the upside. This methodology also shifts your targets. If you will see, your target is here. Yes, and because your stop loss increased, your target increased as well automatically to have 1-to-1. And if we go back to our indicator and set this to 786, yes, back to standard one, you will see that target becomes lower. This is the previous target, this is our lower target to have the same distance. So we had 22.9 and we had 22.9 here as well. So I can't hit that ideally, but this is the level that tells me what is the stop loss, 22.9. Okay, experiment, test until the optimal is found. So two ways: calculate the offset or use an earlier level. With an earlier level, of course, your targets are shifted. I did this calculating the offset. The yesterday testing was done calculating the offset, and my subscribers left comments below my video saying that I potentially have mistakes, and I fixed those mistakes. So the mistake was in this three letters. It should have ABS. If I explain it to you, so the result, if result is possible, yes, positive, we detract our spread, and then we detract 0.1 multiplied our result, so we detract 10% of the result. And what we have in case of positive, it is -1 multiply 20 to 9, yes, but in case of negative, it is -1 multiplied -20. And the whole expression turns into positive, and instead of detracting, you are summing, you sum up, and this was a mistake. So what this leads to, it leads to this thing. It doesn't affect any probabilities, but it affects the overall risk-reward ratio, 0.73, and instead of 0.20 expectancy that we had yesterday, we have a lower expectancy, 0.07. But guys, considering spread and considering the offset, this is pretty good situation. It has a positive expectancy, and this is a good level to close half of your position and break even your trade. Maybe it is not as good as the strategy on its own, but it is a good place to move your stops to break even and to look for further targets. Cut your losses short, let your targets run, and you have a 62% probability that you will you won't have a loss. You have a 62% probability. Okay, total number of trades I found is 1,913. Enormous number of trades on one time frame, one pair, only one time frame and one pair. And I also did a ratio analysis. So if we go here, and the B point is 3.2 to 50 and the C point is 3.2 to 50, not very common patterns, 26 patterns totally found, and they have 57% probability. Of course, this may vary because the sample size of patterns is not very large. When you have the 3.2 to 50 of B point and 50 to 618 the C point, these patterns become more common, and the probability turns to 60. So the same stuff here, it becomes a bit more precise and more accurate. Then less patterns here. 49. This is the only ratio that is less than 50, as you can see. And again, 81 is not a very great sample size. If you have 20 more and they can be 20 winners, of course everything will change. Okay, but the numbers say that the probability is around 60. So regardless of the ratio, the probability is more or less 60, plus or minus a few percent. Mostly above 60. So you can choose the best ones, 67, let's say 63, 67, 64, 67, and that's it, and you can trade them only these patterns. So you say this is good, and you say this is good, and this is good, and you don't trade others, and maybe you trade this one. Of course, it requires several custom patterns in your MetaTrader. Oh, by the way, you can always attach an additional indicator. Within one indicator, you have two custom patterns. Yes, so you can code two of them, but you can go to where is that? Okay. Oh, MPS 55 Pro. So you can go attach this. So what you need to do, let me load some trading set, it is a license key, and you can set this to 2. Yes, and let's go to disable some patterns. Gatlies, we don't need the Gatli, don't need that. We're only talking about price extreme 12, multiply and disable this filter, then yes, price extreme 12, and then we should enable a custom pattern here, should be true, and you set the ratios you wish to have according to this pattern. For example, let it be something 618 to 786, and the C point should be 618 to 1, and the color should be purple, medium violet, or whatever, and the entry is this, stop loss is this, and you do the same with your second pattern. So what you will have an additional group, additional pattern group. So you see the first 2 patterns, yes, and you have the number 4 patterns. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4 custom patterns, and if you scroll it, you will have them all. What else you can do? So you see they coincide, I mean these coincide with these patterns because they are identical ratios. What you can do, you can attach up to 5 indicators here, up to 5 guys, and totally you will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 custom patterns at the same time running, you see. And of course you can exploit all these tables, only taking those that are, I don't know, just take those that are above 63. So 67, 63, let's say 67, 64, 68, 63, and you use this 67. So just set the B point ratio, set the C point ratio. If the cells are adjacent, yes, of course you set the B point ratio, and you set the C point ratio as minimal 382 and maximal 618 because they are adjacent. And you can also set this as adjacent cells. So you set the B point as 382 to 618, and you set the C point as 618 to 786 because they are adjacent. Very, very simple. And the same way you can set your third custom pattern. The B point is 50 to 618, and the C point from 786 to 1. Minimal from first, maximal from the second. So what we have, what variations we have? We have 1 variation, 2, 3 because they are adjacent, and 4. So you only need 4 custom patterns, and you need to attach 2 indicators running the same algorithm, but every custom pattern should be set as its own. So this simple tip for you to exploit MPS better. I explained this in MPS tutorials, but what I found that majority of MPS users are so lazy to watch these tutorial videos that they never watch them. Okay, another thing that I want to show you is that I slightly modified the fast backtest function, fast backtest utility. Yes, the one that is that writes down. And I created the offset here as well. So if the offset of MPS appears in further versions, if I find that useful, and it will be added to later versions, then the fastback test will be also updated as well. And look what it does. It calculates the offset. It actually doesn't calculate that, but it takes it from the MPS indicator. Yes, and when we start doing the backtest, yes, like this, recording this to our files. This was a winner, this was a winner, going next, this one is a winner, You see it touches the offset zone and goes to targets. Yes, this one is a loss, and let me disable this button. This one is a loss, and let me find it. This one is a win. So if we go to our output file, look what happens. Files, so our euro-dollar 15-minute. So we just backtested 7 patterns. Yes, time, entry as usual, and here's the offset. It says the offset, and your result is calculated as risk reward is calculated as a bit different. Yes, it is not 1-to-1 anymore because you have less, and your result is calculated a bit different. So let me demonstrate it to you one more time. So I go to the very beginning, but this time I go to indicator settings and I will set an offset to false, like this. So the way I don't use any offset. Yes, and here I will type this. This was a winner. Again, this was a winner. Touch and reverse. This one was a winner. Reversed, hitting these green lines. And this one was a winner. One bull candle that touches the green line. This one is a winner. Then goes here is a winner, and here we go, it is a winner as well. So what we have in this situation, oh sorry guys, oh forgive me, don't save. I need to rebacktest that from the very beginning because my file was opened. When the file is opened, it cannot be modified. So okay, this one was a winner. This one was a winner. This one was a winner. We are going more. This one was a winner. This one was a loss. This one was a loss. And this one was a win. So if we go to our output file, we will see that it did this. Offset equals to 0. And if we compare without offset, it is 22.9, but with offset, the take profit is a bit less, 18.8. It automatically calculates the result, detracting offset. Earlier entry gives you worse price, that's why your take profit is less by offset and your stop loss is greater by offset. So initially stop loss was 20 and 8 if we don't use any offset, 20 and 8, but then it increased as 25.5 minus 25.5 because almost 5 pips was in offset. Okay, this is the thing that I need to do the backtest one more time, and I need to rebacktest from the very beginning, calculating the offset for each and every situation. Oh well, my yesterday backtest took me almost 3 hours. I've been doing some breaks. If it were not for some breaks, I would complete that in 2 hours maybe. But guys, 1,900 trades. Something enormous. The sample size is absolutely statistically reliable, 1,913 trades, and it took me 2 hours. Well, let's say it took me 3 hours because I did some breaks to do the backtest of this, and very fast, extremely powerful stuff. So if you like this video, if you want me to add this offset to MPS, I'm just in the process of making decision if it makes sense to add this into MPS. So if you guys say yes, I want an offset in MPS indicator, and I want to have an offset function in the fast backtest utility as well, so I will add this and I will update the MPS files so you can download them as updated. And if you say you know what, we don't need this stuff, we'll just simply use 75% entry and no offset is needed, then I will say okay, and I won't do any coding of changing the files. Well, that's it. Waiting for your reply, waiting for your feedbacks in comments, and hit likes if you like this video. Until then, good luck and good trading. Hope to see you soon.